I'm Brian Tracy, and welcome to the Brian Tracy Show. We're here today with Mark Anthony Garrett, who is a remarkable man who has a variety of life experiences that have taught him some of the most important of all lessons, which he now explains to other people in a series of inspirational talks and motivational talks. He's given more than 2,500 talks to thousands of people all over the country to help them get in touch with their real potential. Mark, it's a real pleasure to have you here.
Thank you. Honored to be here.
Yes. Now, tell us a little bit about what you do. What is your business?
Well, I'm an inspirer. I help people to discover their internal greatness.
Yes.
I help people to understand that they're here for three primary reasons: purpose, passion, and presence. I help people to understand that they have something that they can give to the world, and that if they tap into that authentic self, into that greater purpose within them, that they can be of greater service to the world and just greater service to humanity in general.
Right. Now, are these short talks, long talks, workshops, seminars? How do you share these ideas?
Well, a combination of everything. Years ago, I did all-day seminars,
Right.
6-hour seminars, 8-hour seminars.
Yeah.
And then over the years, I've just kind of honed it down to more like 90 minutes, 2-hour talks, speeches, and such.
Right. Well, when I started off, my first seminar was a 2-day seminar.
Wow.
And I didn't know, because I'd seen another 2-day seminar, I didn't know that most speakers speak in shorter amounts.
Right.
And it took years to get it down to 60 and 90 minutes.
Yes.
Well, there are a lot of people who speak for teachers and in education, but you're something special. So why is it that schools and educators bring you in to talk to them?
That's a great question. The reason they bring me in is teachers are getting beat up right now. Teachers are getting slammed all over the country, all over the world. And my message is not about raising test scores or standardized testing or cultural pedagogy. My message is a message of hope, helping that teacher to really reconnect as to why they became educators. And when you can help them to do that, to remember the essence of how great they are and why they became teachers, that's where I think teachers begin to remember just how powerful they are. So when I come in, I'm the guy that brings the hope. I'm the guy that brings that level of understanding that they're there for a greater sense of purpose.
Well, now, tell me about your mission, your purpose, your vision. I mean, the reasons why you do what you do.
Well, the reason why I do what I do is because, growing up, my mother had some internal challenges. She was just someone who really was trying to get her life on track. And so
Right.
when I was born, she decided to put me up for adoption. So I spent the first 6 years of my life in and out of various foster homes and was
Right.
adopted at the age of 6.5.
Right.
And I just had a lot of trauma, a lot of trials and tribulations. My adopted parents were phenomenal people. My adopted dad was born in 1918, my adopted mother 1930.
Wow.
And just really had a sense of trying to figure out how do we take care of this young kid. And just my dad was a very introverted guy, hard worker, blue collar worker, but wasn't there emotionally. And so over the years, I was just one of those kids who fell through the cracks. And in third grade, I was labeled special ed.
Right.
And actually failed the third grade, and they put me in a special education classroom. And I was very distraught about that. I was very hurt because I didn't feel like I was like other kids,
Right.
didn't understand why life was so challenging. But a third grade teacher, her name was Betty Jean Ritchie, she told me something that totally changed my whole life. She said, "You are significant." And it was the catalyst that really propelled me to begin to believe in myself and to understand that maybe I was here for a greater sense of purpose. Fast forward to 18 years of age, I dropped out of school in the 9th grade. My adopted mother passed away, and I was thinking about committing suicide. And I had a gun in my head, ready to take my life. But every time I tried to pull the trigger, there was a voice of a third grade teacher telling me that I was significant. And it totally changed my life. So I decided at that moment that I wanted to be a better purpose. I wanted to make a difference in the world. And so years later, I went into wildlife biology thinking that was going to be
Right.
my career. But doing that, I started working with kids and soon discovered that my greater purpose was to help kids. And so I started doing motivational talks for kids in schools, and it just kind of built over time. And fast forward now, 20-some years later, I am the guy that goes in and talks to educators. I'm the one who goes in and inspires teachers to be great because of what my third grade teacher did for me. And so I came up with a program entitled Teachers Are Heroes, because I personally believe, because my teacher was a hero, that now I can help all teachers and educators who work with children to become heroes.
Well, it's interesting. Every person has one or more turning points in their life. There are significant events that before they were a certain person and afterwards they were different. And yours was when you were told you were significant. And now what you do, it seems, is you pass it on and you tell young people that they are significant.
That is correct.
That they have unlimited potential, that
Yes.
they can do extraordinary things with their lives.
Yes.
And sometimes it just takes one person looking right into their eyes and telling them that, and they're never the same again. And so that's what you do.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Right. Now, there's a lot of speakers out there, and every person who is successful brings what we call unique added value, or something different or distinct from anyone else. So what would you say would be your uniqueness or distinctiveness that makes you different from others?
I think for me, it's authenticity. Being authentic. I don't have a canned speech. I don't have a presentation that I've done 1,000 times, even though I do Teachers Are Heroes speech.
Right.
Each speech is different. So when I get to the stage, I'm leaving my heart on the stage. I understand exactly what people need. I connect with people, and it is a relationship. When you speak to people, it's about being present in the moment and giving all of you. And I think that's what's really put me in a different arena, because I didn't want to be like other speakers. I didn't want to be that traditional motivational speaker who talks about rah-rah. It's not about rah-rah. It's about helping people understand, why are you here? How do you make that difference? What is your life designed to be like? Why are you on this planet? And if you can help people understand that,
yes,
I think that you can change people's lives all over the world and for the better. And so I'm really, really passionate and really excited about that.
Wow. Well, I've told my audiences over the years that you are here to do something wonderful with your life. That every single person has a role to play in the great scheme of things. That God don't make no junk. Remember that one?
Right,
Yeah.
yes.
Is that every person is here to do something special. And your great job in life, your great responsibility, is to find out what that is and then do it with your whole heart. So that's what you teach other people.
Absolutely.
Now, you've had some wonderful experiences with the influence of your teaching over the years. So tell our viewers about an incident, a person that met you and they were here when they met you, and afterwards they were here and their whole life was different. Something that you're really proud of.
Well, I have two quick things. The first one is I was working with a group of kids. I started out motivating children, and I went to speak to a group of kids, and on this particular day, I really didn't want to go. And I thought that going to a very rural district in Appalachia, Ohio, that I was wasting my time.
Right.
But I was very young, but I didn't realize the greater sense of purpose by me going anyway. So I show up, I talk to these kids, and after I talk to these kids, about a month later, I get a letter in the mail from a little kid named Peyton. And he writes me, he was in a residential facility. He says, Mr. Garrett, he says, I want to let you know that you changed my life. And you talked to us about becoming a champion. And he says, it was that message that allowed me to not commit suicide.
Wow.
And I knew at that moment that I had a greater sense of purpose. And the other story is simply, I was talking to about 800 teachers, and after I finished a speech on helping teachers become heroes, a teacher walks up to me and she's in tears. And she says, I had turned in my resignation. But she says, after hearing this speech today, I truly understand why I became a teacher. And I'm going to go home, I'm going to tear up that resignation, and I'm going to go fight for my kids. And at that moment, I got a cold chill, because I didn't realize that speaking could be a greater sense of purpose. So anybody I talk to,
yeah,
whether it's child welfare, whether it's teachers, whether it's corporations, but of course my focus is on teachers, is helping them to understand they have a purpose, that there's a reason why they're here and that they can make a difference.
Wow. So your words literally changed the direction of people's lives.
Absolutely.
Well, how can people get a hold of you? They want to learn more about your services and your talks.
Well, if they want to get a hold of me, they can simply go to my website, or they can call our office directly. And if they go to the website, we're going to give them some free gifts and some free training that's going to help them get to the next level.
And the website is?
The website is www.teachersareheroes.com.
TeachersAreHeroes.com. That's
Yes.
great. You'll probably find it on Google in just a second.
Absolutely.
Well, congratulations and thank you so much.
Thank you.
That's wonderful stuff.
Thank you.